In 1925, one man flooded Portugal with 100 million escudos in 500-escudo notes, near enough one banknote in every 6 then in the country. And here is the detail that has kept people arguing for 100 years. Not one of those notes was a forgery. Every single one of them was real. Real paper, real ink, printed by the exact firm the Bank of Portugal paid to make its money, on the bank's own plates. Down to the last fiber, they matched the genuine article, because they were the genuine article. It looks like the greatest counterfeiting operation in history. It wasn't counterfeiting at all. The only thing that ever gave these notes away was a number, the same number turning up twice. This is the file on the man who printed real money. The file opens on a small-time crook with a very large idea. Artur Alves dos Reis, born in Lisbon, 1896, the son of an undertaker who died in debt. Ambitious, clever, and broke. To land a government post out in the colony of Angola, he simply forges himself a qualification, an engineering degree from the Oxford University Polytechnic School of Engineering. A school that did not exist. Nobody checks. It works. And that is the whole education of Alves Reis. Paper is only ever as good as the trouble someone takes to verify it. In 1924, it nearly ends. He forges checks on a New York account to seize a railway company in Angola, draining its cash while the checks cross the ocean by ship. He is caught, and he lands in a Porto jail. But a man like Reis does not waste a cell. He spends 2 months in there thinking about money, about the exact difference between real money and a forgery. And he decides there isn't one. Not really. The difference is just a contract with a printer. To see what he saw, you have to know how a banknote is actually made. In 1925, the Bank of Portugal did not print its own money. Hardly any central bank did. It sent the work abroad, to Waterlow Sons of London, one of the most trusted security printers on earth. The firm that held the plates for Portugal's 500-escudo note, the one with the explorer Vasco da Gama on the face. So think about what actually makes that note real. Not some hidden secret. 3 plain things: the paper, the plates, and the printer the bank trusts to run them. A forger spends his whole life trying to imitate all 3, and never quite manages it. Reis worked out that he didn't have to imitate anything. He only had to become someone Waterlow would obey. Persuade the real printer to run the real plates, and your money isn't a clever fake. It's just money. So Reis wrote himself the authority. He drafted a contract, a secret arrangement in which the Bank of Portugal supposedly engaged him to organize a special printing to quietly fund a loan to the colony of Angola. He had it notarized by a clerk who never read it. He collected certifications stamped by the British, German, and French legations in Lisbon. He forged the signatures of the bank's own directors, tracing them off notes in his pocket. And he recruited men who could move paper across borders. A Dutch dealer, Karel Marang, José Bandeira, whose brother was Portugal's minister at The Hague, and a German trader who went by Hennies. Then he solved the one problem he could not otherwise solve. Genuine notes off the real plates would carry real serial numbers, numbers already sitting in Portuguese wallets, duplicates. His contract disposed of it in a single clause. These notes were bound for Angola and would be overprinted with the word Angola the moment they reached Lisbon, a separate colonial issue. So naturally, the serial numbers could repeat. Waterlow read that, found it reasonable, and printed 200,000 notes off the genuine plates. 100 million escudos. Reis never overprinted a single one. He opened a bank, the Banco de Angola e Metropole, and started spending. A palace in Lisbon, farmland, a fleet of taxis, jewels for his wife. It looked like a rich man losing his head. It was camouflage. The spending was never the point. Because Reis was not trying to get rich. He was trying to get safe. There was still one document out there that could hang him, the authorization he had forged. So he set out to make it real after the fact, by buying the one institution with the power to grant it, the Bank of Portugal itself. His agents began quietly buying up the bank's shares, a block at a time, working toward a controlling stake. Follow the logic. If Reis owned the bank, he could bless his own contract, quietly lose the records, and turn a forgery into official policy. The counterfeiter would become the man who signed the money. And he very nearly got there. Then the smallest possible thing went wrong. A cashier, sorting notes, found himself holding 2 500-escudo bills, both flawless, both genuine, printed with the same serial number. The same number. Twice. The bank began pulling notes and lining them up by serial number, hunting for twins. And the trail led straight back to Reis's own bank. On the 5th of December, 1925, the newspaper O Século ran the story. The warrants went out the next morning. Reis was at sea, sailing home from Angola, and he did not run. The bank ordered every 500-escudo Vasco da Gama note in Portugal handed in within 20 days. By the 26th of December, about 115,000 had come back, the real ones and Reis's together, side by side, impossible to tell apart. Reis waited nearly 5 years for his trial, was sentenced to 20, and walked free in 1945. He died poor and mostly forgotten 10 years after that. But the strangest bill in the whole affair went to a man who had done nothing wrong. The Bank of Portugal did not only chase Reis, it sued Waterlow and Sons, the printer that had, in perfectly good faith, printed what it believed was an authorized order. The case climbed all the way to the House of Lords, and in 1932, the Lords found for the bank £610,000 in damages. Sir William Waterlow was pushed out of the family firm and died before the final judgment was ever read aloud. And Portugal did not walk away clean either. The scandal helped bring down a fragile republic. Within months, the army took power, and the road ran on toward the dictatorship that would hold the country for the next half a century. But the detail worth keeping is the quiet one. When the Bank of Portugal called in those notes, it was not destroying counterfeits. It was recalling its own money, because it could no longer be sure which of its banknotes it had actually authorized. The forgery was never in the paper. It was in the paperwork. The files on the desk. The rest of the documents are in the description. The next case file is already open. Start there. And if you'd rather see the documents than take anyone's word for it, subscribe. There's always another page in the Swindle papers.